Hey, it's Willie Crawford here. And in the course of my teaching people how to do rank and rent websites, I shared a number of ways of contacting potential renters to include using email, messenger, phone numbers, things like that. I also mentioned that I use direct mail to contact people too. And one of the questions that I and a number of people have looked at is, how do you find people's contact information? And there are numerous online services that you can use to find people's contact information. There are companies that will look up people's information for you in their directories you can pay big bucks for. But I wanted to show you two simple ones that will let you find people's information based on names, phone numbers, addresses, stuff like that. And I looked at these two. The information is fairly decent. In some of them, you'd be surprised what you can find out. And the way I use this is me. I do send people, I call people and I send them text messages. And I also use a company called Send Out Cards to send them a direct mail piece where what I do is I rank a website, and once I have it ranked, I find the person's address and I send them a picture of their business in a card, and in the card I also show the URL that is for rent, and I give them my contact information. So I send them a direct mail piece direct to the business owner, the decision maker, and I show them I own your domain name, and I show them their business so they know it's not some broadcast, it's personal to them. It's a full color greeting card they get in the mail, and I could do an 8.5 by 11, like a postcard, even like a flyer, but it'd be like nice and glossy and would show their business on the front of it in my message saying I have this domain name that is for rent, or I could say for sale, and give them my contact information. And then I follow up with them 3 to 5 days later to make sure they receive my information, my contact, my offer. And I'll compose something like that. And if I have a domain name that is a city name plus a niche, I may send it to 5 or 10 different businesses in that city. But here's the way I track down individuals. Two sites I use. First one is called fastpeoplesearch.com. It's free to use, fastpeoplesearch.com. And there, if you have the person's name or phone number or address, any of those will let you get the other information. So I'm going to enter one of my phone numbers, which I give out all the time. It's 850-621-2116. That is one of my cell phone numbers, and it's also how I receive text messages, and I receive dozens of them someday. So people that are like in my training or whatever, they're encouraged actually to text me from time to time. I don't encourage you to phone me without pre-coordinating that, because I have a lot of meetings and I have a lot of things on my schedule. But you can certainly text me anytime. I don't sleep with my phone. So if you text me and leave a message, I'll get back to you. But I don't sleep with my phone or drop what I'm doing to answer a text message. But if you enter my phone number on this site, freepeoplesearch.com, and you tell it to search, it's going to give you who owns this phone number. And information is fairly accurate. And you'd be surprised at the information that's available here, which is pulled from public records as far as I can tell. So it gives you my age and my name and different addresses I've had, both home and business addresses. I see some inaccuracies, like I've never lived at this address, so I don't know where that came from, but I've had these addresses as well as others. And then it shows different numbers that I have had or whatever. And there's like one maybe in the list that wasn't mine, so there it has a different person. Then it shows other names that people have gone by. I don't know where I got these things from, but it found them somewhere. And it says misspelling. Then it talks about relatives. I don't know who some of these people are, like Carolyn and Thomas. My wife's name is Nancy. I don't know these people. I have a niece named Ashley, but when I click on it, it shows a different Ashley, somebody in Mecklenburg, North Carolina. My relative lives in New Jersey. So some of the information is accurate, and I'm sure it's pulled from public record, because here are some of the businesses, partnerships, corporations, companies that are associated with me. I was a part of this LLC. I own this LLC. I own this corporation. This is the same LLC, this one. So all of these are some of the entities I'm associated with. There aren't all of them, because some of them I don't register under my name. I register under the names of entities. So, you know, there's ways to register things where you register them under different entity names that are legal entities, but that's what that is. And, you know, here it shows how it verified the data that it has. I don't know where all this data is pulled from. And down here it talks about a Willie Crawford in Houston, Texas. I've never lived in Houston, Texas, you know, and it gives some information on them. Again, their relatives and all that stuff. So it's useful, but not totally accurate. Well, yeah. So you can track down some information on people. You know, this gives a mailing address is a valid mailing address for me. I go back to the, well, it lets you find if you knew my name or phone number or address. You know, if you just had the name Willie Crawford, well, some of us bought names through Gene Pimentel's Name Snagger service, and what he sold was names, first name, last name, combinations that were available, that no one owned. They were recently dropped or whatever, and these were people who had LinkedIn profiles and all those things. So if you want to know how to reach these people, you just type in their name. Like if you own WillieCrawford.com and you wanted to figure out how to reach Willie Crawford, you just type in the name under the name search tab, and you click search, and it pulls up. So Willie Crawford in San Francisco with his contact information, age 67. It tells, you know, it's got a bunch of addresses, past and present addresses, and see, it's showing them Willie James Crawford, Willie Crawford in Goldsboro, who's deceased. I don't think there's much point in contacting him. There's court records and all kinds of stuff. It's all publicly available data. So, you know, this is I know, like David Hunt and I, we both own a few domain names that are individuals' names, and this is a way maybe to track down someone who would want that name. You know, if I had, I don't know, Billy Bob or whatever, well, I won't search for another name. Instead, I'll show you the second one. The first one, again, is at fastpeoplesearch.com. The second one is at WhitePages.com, and it's basically an online phone book, I guess. It says, find people's contact information and background checks, trusted by 35 million people every month. If you did a people search, I like doing phone searches. So again, I'll use my phone number. It's 50621-116. This is a number that, you know, cell phone numbers pass from people to people. So it see what it pulls up. It tells you that the carrier is AT&T for this person, and see, it gives that details on the owner, shows somebody in Chatworth, Georgia. Well, I live in Florida, so it's saying that somebody in Georgia owns my number, which is not accurate. So that is an inaccuracy, but it gives you their, I don't know, criminal record if you're thinking about going into business with them, relatives, all that stuff. It's all stuff from public record, bankruptcies and foreclosures and property records. Or, you know, when someone buys a house or whatever, they file a record at the local courthouse and all those things. So, and professional licenses and permits, they again have to go down to the courthouse or the county clerk's office or whatever and apply for a permit. So you can track down a lot of information on people from that, and it's the site's, I guess, useful. This phone number doesn't belong to those people. We looked up, I don't know, look up my name. It's probably a million Willie Crawford stuff. And it gives, there's a Willie Crawford in Pensacola, Florida, which is, this is, that's not me. I don't live in Pensacola. one in Gainesville, Florida. So that's 2 in Florida. And there's one in Niceville, Florida. That's 3. That's me. There's one in Fredericksburg, Virginia. There's one in Elba, Alabama, Fairhope, Alabama. So look at all these Willie Crawford. So if you own williecrawford.com as a domain name that you want to either rent or sell, you just use WhitePages.com, and you can find the addresses and the phone numbers and all that information on people with that name. You know, here's one in Selma, Alabama, in their 70s, and there's one in Tallahassee in their 20s. You know, and the information is available. It's public record. You know, anytime you go out and you file for a corporate entity to legally file and set up, establish a corporation, or you buy property, or any of 1,000 other things, they are public record. And so there's 2 sites I'm showing you where you can go and you can research things like that. There are inaccuracies in the database, but I'm just sharing with you some resources. And I mentioned send out cards. I'm going to share that with you too, because it's to my benefit. I am an affiliate for Send Out Cards, but it's a company I've used since 2004. And what I do is I send physical greeting cards, and you can send cards in numerous sizes. I'll post a link beneath the video where you can go and send a free card, and that link will also show you how the system works. It takes like 3 minutes, but there'll be a link below the video that says send a card, and when you click on that, it lets you choose from different categories of cards. And I'm just going to pick this just for the heck of right now, just to show you something. And then you can add your own pictures and stuff like that. There's a lot of different options there. I'm actually not going to build a card for you. The system shows you how that works anyway. But what I wanted to show you actually is there's different sizes of cards. There's postcards. There's 8.5 by 11 cards. There's standard size postcard or standard size greeting cards, and that's what I use. And I put a picture again of the business on the front and or inside the card, and then I basically point out that the website, the domain name, is for sale. And I mail that, and I have an account with this company that allows me to send an unlimited number of cards anywhere in the world for $97 a month. Now, that plan is intended for what the company calls heartfelt cards, which means where you compose one card at a time and you send it to one person or a business. It's not meant for you to take one card, put some words in it, and then send it to a dozen people, because at $97 a month, if I sent 5 cards a day, it'd be 150 cards a month. That's cost me 65 cents a card, which is less than the cost of the postage and the labor for the company. So they'd go out of business if they let people just send thousands of cards. So this is intended for you to compose individual cards, although I cut and paste things, but the intent is not for you to just send out 1 million cards a month on the company, paying them $97 a month, and then you using $10,000 worth of resources. In fact, if you use more than $500 per month in postage, they will charge you for the extra postage. And if you are really power user, they're going to call you on that and probably close your account. I send 5 to 10 cards a day. Most of those are for personal purposes, keeping up with friends, relatives, but also business associates. And I do use it to prospect, to mail people about domain names that I have, to include domain names that are their own name. Even if I have an address and a phone number, but don't have like an email address, or don't see their Facebook profile or something like that, where I could send them a private message over Facebook, then I would use direct mail. Direct mail gets through. Email gets filtered. It hits spam filters. People are tired of getting so many emails. Facebook Messenger is very effective for reaching people. I mean, people do see their messages. They don't always respond to them, but with direct mail, it's getting through. So that's why that is my preferred method of reaching out. In a lot of cases, I buy a domain name for as little as $9, sometimes more, and I put together, send it out to them, hoping to rent out or sell the website to them. It's very effective. It's how I gatekeepers and reach people that I really want to reach. And I just want to show that to you. Again, the 2 sites I showed you are fastpeoplesearch.com. This is the front of that. So you can search on name, phone number, or address if you have any of those pieces of data. and it's free. And the second one is WhitePages. And again, you can search on the person's name, phone number, or address, or it says business too. So on the business, if you had a business name, I guess that features for a business like the name TGI Fridays or whatever. You could put the business name there and search on that, and it'll show you businesses. I mean, that's very powerful, actually. If you own a domain name of a business, a domain name that's appropriate for a business, I'm going to pick Destin. I live in Destin, Florida. So I want to pick Destin Dentist. It's probably not a business name, Destin Dentist, but I'm going to search on it anyway. It's not pulling up anything. Maybe I need to enter city too. It shows me that there's Destin, Florida, Destin, BC, and Destin, Oklahoma. I'm going to go with Destin, Florida, and search. Okay, what it showed me here is dentist in Destin, Florida, who would be perfect for me to rent or sell my domain name that pertains to Destin Dentist. And it gives the address, the phone numbers, what they do, gives you a link to visit their sites. So again, an easy way to track down, in this case, a business that was a dentist in Destin, and I wanted to rent to him my website, destindentist.com. You can see here somebody already owns destindentist.com, so obviously I don't own that one. It's not obvious, but I don't own that one. But powerful tool. And this is Willie. Thanks for listening.